So I keep seeing this pop up in Google searches every so often. And I mean this. When I go typing in for fanfiction to look for at least ideas to do for pitch videos, this one keeps popping up every so often. And there's very few fanfictions that actually try to do this idea, and most just fly away. And believe me when I say that, yes, it's part of the evil Harry Potter fanfiction thing, but this one, I'm not gonna lie, is one I've never seen done. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never seen a proper serial killer Harry Potter. One where we have Harry Potter who is technically evil per se, but is the perfect killer. Like Jack the Ripper goes around committing heinous acts of mutilation and crime, but yet is never caught. No one knows who did the crime. No one knows who done this. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish for a proper serial killer Harry Potter fanfiction, which is why I present to you this idea. Say Harry Potter, is abused by the Dursleys as usual, but snaps. A small voice inside his head is telling him to slit their throats in their sleep, and then go away into the night. Doing so, he kills them both, but leaves his cousin alone, for the cousin is innocent. But his hunger for bloodlust continues, stringing crimes similar to the pint-sized slasher of Fallout 3. He goes around killing, and continues to kill. And yes, his magic is not really active per se. We could say that this one is a non-magical Harry Potter, or maybe he's a squib. He goes around and takes lives, because the bloodlust in him wants more, until he finds magic is real, and then becomes intrigued. And when he finds out about the Death Eaters and Voldemort, he realizes that Voldemort was sloppy. Instead of instilling fear like one of the Third Reich, instead of instilling the idea of pureblood supremacy, one could do better. Why try to promote pureblood supremacy when one could just go ahead and thin out the ranks of the diseased blood that plagues magical Britain? The disease of rot and stagnation. Going as far as to eliminate the bloodlines. As Daisy Fitzroy says, to uproot the weeds, one must kill it at the roots. So, mysteriously, people start dying. They can't find the killer, for it wasn't a magical crime. It was a crime conducted via mundane means. Slit throats, poison, mysterious suicides. All the way up to the Minister of Magic and his Undersecretary, who die both of poison, cyanide within their tea, and going as far as to have both Voldemort and Dumbledore be fearful of this new killer, all while trying to search for Harry Potter. Of course, a good evil story is not good without, of course, Voldemort finding out it's Harry first. Voldemort, in this story, out of fear of his Horcruxes being found, starts absorbing them and becomes sane again, going as far as to make a deal with the pint-sized slasher, saying that so long as he contains his killings, he shall not reveal who he is, even going as far as to make sure that Dumbledore never finds him to fulfill the prophecy, which may be false in the first place. Harry Potter, within his 3rd year, is discovered, and Dumbledore's plans, thinking they can go into motion, only for his pawns to suddenly end up dead mysteriously by the serial killer, who he fears is within his school. The portraits cannot report it, the ghosts have not reported it. Mysteriously, Ronald Weasley is dead. His sister, ends up dead as well by mysterious means. All while Harry Potter is innocent, not following Dumbledore's plans, never going for the bait he sets. Hermione Granger ends up crippled. All while Harry Potter continues to satiate his bloodlust, until finally the bloodlust points him towards Dumbledore. So, setting up a meeting with Dumbledore, Harry decides to just outright say he was the pint-sized slasher, But Dumbledore, for some reason, cannot move his body, paralyzed by a lovely little root within his tea, a poison that paralyzes one. He cannot move. He cannot do anything. All while Harry monologues about the perfect bloodlust. The bloodlust that will be satiated as soon as Dumbledore is dead. Horror strikes the headmaster as Harry slits his throat slowly with his blade. And as Dumbledore dies, he realizes that all his plans failed because the Dursleys created the perfect monster. The bloodlust has been satiated. And the killings stop as Harry Potter goes about his normal days. Until he is an adult. And where one goes from there is up to the author. Does Harry go on a normal life? Or does the bloodlust return to be satiated with more killings from the mysterious serial killer? Or does he pass on the trait to his children? I leave that to you, the authors. And if you guys like this idea, consider trying it out yourself. Seriously, the idea of the perfect killer, the perfect serial killer, has always been my favorite. I mean, hell, the reason I love Hannibal Lecter as a serial killer character, or even Jack the Ripper so fascinating, is because they could never solve it. They never knew who the killer was. Was the killer under the noses? Was the killer even there? Was the killing even done by someone, a professional? Again, it's one of those stories that is so fascinating. I leave to you, the audience, to decide. And since October is around the corner, well, it'd be a perfect time for you to make it. 31 days of horror. Something for you to try. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Down. I will see all you lovely, lovely people in the next video. And would you kindly consider donating to the PayPal down below? And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Owl, and let me hear your ideas for a serial killer Harry Potter, or even a Hannibal Lecter Harry Potter. Again, I'd love to see how dark and twisted your psyches are. For the idea of Harry Potter having one's liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti is so intriguing. Till next time.